Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. I've been asked about more sheet metal content, and I have posted some speedruns of some Too Tall Toby challenges before. But today I figured I'd do a little bit differently and do more of a tutorial so that it promotes best practices a bit better than just a speedrun. I'm going to use the one from Model Monday Live from a couple weeks ago. This one called the 21-03-02 angle 2021. And I'm actually going to do it three different ways. First two are going to be fairly similar, and then the third one, which is my favorite way of doing it. Probably break it up into at least two, if not three, different videos to keep them nice and short. In the meantime, I'm gonna do it the first method, kind of the traditional way. I'm just gonna draw that L shape. I'm gonna draw half only. Draw the L shape first, extrude it as sheet metal, and then use the Flange tool to create these, and then add the details. So let's get started. Right. So, I'm going to start a sketch on the top plane using the Shift S shortcut. Then I'm going to start a line, and that one is going to be 4.5 over 2 by 4 inches. And I am going to go right into a sheet metal. I'm going to extrude these two 4 inches. Yes, I want to go up. I do want to go inside on the thickness. And one thing that I highly recommend is to always create variables for thickness and radius, just because it can come in handy, and it's a good habit to get into. And you can create them directly from here as you're creating the feature, and it just adds them in here. So it really doesn't take that long, and if you're doing, especially in a more complex part, it really helps. Then I'm going to use a regular Flange tool. So we've got, I'm going to start with this one, flange at the bottom, 1 inch long, but I do want to take the outer condition so that it's still lined up with the bottom of our part. And that's it for this one, basically. And I am going to Shift Enter, I'm still in here, Shift Enter to go right back into the Flange tool, pick this edge, same thing, we want the outer condition so it lines up, and we get an error, but that's okay. That one is 1.5 long, but we're going to use the partial flange option, which lets you create only part of it. And the best way to get the design intent, say up to entity with offset, and the entity is this, and the offset is 2. So that gives us that flange that's 1.5 and 2 inches from that edge, which is exactly what we want. So we're in pretty good shape. Obviously we've got this piece of material this we'll need to get rid of, and the best way to do that is with the move face. The move face is actually very central to the Onshape sheet metal workflow, which is a bit of a difference if you're coming from SolidWorks or I think other tools as well. But I'm going to use up to entity, pick that face, which is at the tangent, and that's what we want. Next, we do need to do that angle here, so I could do a cut, but I noticed that the 0.375 here is actually the thickness plus the radius. It starts at the tangent, so we can do it with a move face as well really easily. So I'm going to go into my move face, pick this, do a rotate, and for the axis I'm going to pick this tangent, and then put in my 37 degrees as per drawing, and that's it. Now We need that big hole in the back, pick that face, start a sketch, C for circle, this one's 2 inches, D for dimension, 2 inches from here, actually that's 2.5, not 2. I'm going to extrude that up to next, why not? And now we still need that hole in here. That one, you can just use the hole tool. There's actually a good reason to do this. So in this case, it's a little bit messy. Probably help to have a sketch to figure it out, but we can calculate it. So it's the distance from that edge to the hole, which is what I can pick easily. If I pick a mate connector, I can start from here. It's 1 inch from here, so it's the center. But we want the distance from here to here, and we can just compute that, which is going to be 2.5 over 2 minus the distance from here to here, which is going to be the 4.5 over 2 minus 1.5. So it's a bit messy, but you can actually type it in. So I'm going to offset this, and it's in the minus x direction. So I'm going to minus, open bracket, and 2.5 over 2 minus another bracket, 4.5 over 2 minus 1.5, bracket, bracket, and that should give us what we want. So we've got our hole, and then all we need is some fillets, basically. So we're going to do 1 inch here, and then shift enter to go back to our fillet tool, 0.25 on this one, oops, still at 1 inch. There we go. And that's basically it. We just have to mirror the part, add to itself, and I usually use my custom table for Too Tall Toby, and you can see we've got the right mass, but good practice is to actually assign the material, and I do have Too Tall Toby library. That should tell us the same thing, 0.472. So that's method number 1. I'm gonna go right ahead and do the second one, and if it's too long, maybe I'll cut it in editing and create a part 2.